Howdy, folks. Welcome to Soldering with Javi. I should say Soldering with Javi in a lightning storm, because that's pretty much what I'm doing today. It's, well, I'll wait for you guys to get in and then I'll start chatting. But, and how are you all doing today? I am basically, like I was, I'm soldering today, probably not probably, definitely in a lightning storm. Um, there's some major storm activity going on outside. Occasionally, you may hear the either a rumble or a strike, or possibly you might even hear some um, very close. I'm talking to all of you, Clyde. Uh, no one's joined me yet tonight. So I mean, other than you guys, there are six of you out there, and I am in the middle of a some type of tropical depression band or something or other down here, and it's you'll probably hear it. I just had a really close lightning strike short while ago. I I'm not too worried as far as my as far as my electricity is concerned, because we got underground lines, and usually, well, if I do drop off, I'll be back uh, until the end of the show anyway. Hey, Matt, how's it going? If you're bored, I'll send you a link, Matt. Let's see here. Where is my. There they are. Uh, my heat shrinks. Hey, Bobby, how's it going? Let's see here. All right. Let us do our usual heat shrink connections here. I just finished soldering another panel here. This is and getting ready to put the heat shrink on and move on to the next one. That's what I'll be doing today. Just a lot of soldering. Let's see. Green is Z. I don't want to take a chance. I'm usually pretty good at identifying things upside down, but let me just make sure that I get it right. Evening, David. All right, go grab something to eat, Matt, and you're welcome on anytime. Just give me a holler, and I'll shoot you a link. I could always use the conversation. Dave Gatton is probably watching me somewhere on his TV while he's munching. Everybody's off to dinner, in the on the East Coast. Had mine a little earlier today. Um, I made some chicken parmesan. Love my chicken parmesan, and uh, and uh, and some penne pasta. It's always always filling. I'm a little lethargic today because I was I yesterday I pressure cleaned the. Well, let me see if I can show you some pictures. You guys always like pictures. Let me. I pressure cleaned the driveway. My side driveway, and I. Let's see. Here it is. This one and this one. I pressure cleaned the driveway and the patio. And here we go. Let's do the old. This is my side driveway. As soon as I can. I'm having trouble with that mouse today. I mean, it doesn't help that every time the mouse drops into the track here because I'm on a CNC table that the that it doesn't track well. All right, so as you can see here, this is the driveway. Well, the side of my house. I got a nice big driveway there, and you can't really tell, but it used to be very dark, and now it's back to its pristine appearance. And then this is my back patio. I just finished clearing out everything from the back patio, obviously except the pool pump. That's the my jacuzzi pump. And when I say jacuzzi pump, I'll tell you a story about that because you guys love stories. So I painted this with some. There's my little puppy. My dog, my little miniature pincher, and I painted this with a texturized paint. It's fantastic. Hang on, let me reduce here because I don't want to. There we go. So, evening, Dave. And so, well, folks, I painted it with the Home Depot textured thing. It's like $250 for the 5-gallon thing, and it took all 5 gallons. I mean, it's a 12 by 20 thing, and it takes 2 coats. So you're looking at the coverage is about 100. No, wait a second. It's 12 by 20, so that's 240. Yeah, the coverage is about 100 square feet per gallon. So 10 by 10 area would be, obviously 1 gallon. And very sunny out here today. So sunny that it's storming now. But I think the storm just passed because I don't hear it anymore. But it was pretty bad. It was so funny. I have the lightning. I mean that weather app, and it says lightning detected 1.6 miles from your location, and then like a minute later, lightning detected 0.8 miles, and I kid you not, lightning detected 0.1 miles from your location, and meanwhile I'm hearing boom, boom, boom. It's pretty cool. If it would have come half an hour later, you would have heard it through the mic here. But I'm not afraid of a little rain. Being from Miami, it's got to be over. It's got to be over 80-mile-an-hour winds for me to raise an eyebrow. And talk to me when you hit hurricane strength. Other than that, tropical storm, been there, done that. I've seen I had a buddy of mine from California. He he lived in California most of his life, and he came down here. He was a graphic artist. Came down here to work for a while, and this was years ago. And it would rain every day, every day, every day. It would rain at the same time, and he was absolutely amazed. He was, first of all, and I did not know this until I went to California a couple years later. It doesn't rain in California, and when it does rain, it's mudslides because just a few little drops. It's not like the rain here. The rain here is like some major. Uh, it's like being in a heavy duty shower. They don't call them showers for nothing, But I've been to all over the country, and it's so funny because in different parts of the country, it'll rain. Like in some parts of the country, like the South, Georgia, and stuff like that. It'll rain almost, but not quite as heavy, but for a much smaller amount of time. Um, Here, it's like the floodgates open, and and it just pours. It's amazing. Uh, Connecticut. I've been to Connecticut, New York, that area, and parts up there, and it was amazing because it was. Um, I wouldn't even call it a drizzle. New York is funny. New York is hilarious. I've been there twice in my life, and the first time I wanted to visit, the second time I had to visit, and I'm hopefully I'll never have to return. No offense to New York, but I just too crowded. And I'll tell you, uh, it's so funny because one little drop, and everybody's pulling out umbrellas everywhere. I'm here walking in what they would consider a downpour, and I'm going, "Where's the rain?" It's funny. It's all. Then again, I'm sure that when we have our uh, 60-degree bone chilling winter and Miamians got 5 coats on, they the Northerners get a laugh out of that. So do I, come to think of it. But there's a lot of Miamians who, from the islands, and all they know is tropical weather. And it's just, it's both of them are funny for me. Yeah, worried about my container? No. Well, first of all, that's up a little further up north. But no, I'm not worried at all. Not worried at all about the container. I'm that thing's it's funny because a lot of people are ask about, oh, what about hurricanes and this and that when you're up there. Yeah, I mean, my mom. Okay, so I was talking to my parents, and because I'm designing the house, and as opposed to this house is, and almost all the houses, which is unheard of to some people, but almost all the houses in Miami, CBS, concrete block structure, is the norm. Everything here is built with concrete, with block. There's no, you got stick built houses, not here. There are no stick built houses down in Miami. Um, and it's funny because my mom was asking me, and my dad, who's a GC for 50, going on 55 years now, still at it. He's telling me, why are you building a stick built? I'm gonna go 2x6 stick built, and for the house, it'll save money, and there's no need to go anymore. And he's going, why? That's crazy. You should go CBS. And I go, CBS is 4 times the price. So I think I'll go this way, trying to save wherever I can. And my mom comes out and, well, what about the hurricanes? It's all going to blow away. And then I go, look, first of all, the hurricanes in Central Florida are far from uh, far less, not far from, but far less catastrophic than the ones down here. When you're coming off either the Gulf waters or the Atlantic, and you're coming off warm waters, most of the devastating ones are the ones that they just brush up the northern tip of Cuba and then come right by here. And it'll take a Cat 4 or 5 to do some real damage here. I mean, yeah, fences and roofs and stuff, but I'm talking real damage. It'll take a big name storm. Now, obviously, I'm generalizing. Any storm can spawn a tornado and destroy a house, but all things being equal, it usually takes a very large windy storm, slow, with a lot of wind, a lot of rain, and to do some serious damage. In Central Florida, first of all, by the time a storm gets to where I am, which is practically dead center of Florida, so we're talking it's a good 150 miles inland. Yes, those storms are big, but they lose a lot of energy. First of all, if they come from the south, it won't even be a Cat 1, maybe a Cat 2 when it gets there. If they come from the sides, again, I don't expect it to be even a Category 5 by the time it gets to the middle of the state is, again, I'm generalizing here, but most of them are I don't want to say harmless, but they've gone down to tropical force winds or it's only around the eye where they have some serious winds. They lose a lot. Combine that with the fact that it's not wind coming straight off the water. It's wind going through a bunch of trees. So if there are high level winds, they're going to be up high. They're going to be, everything underneath. Now combine that with the fact that I've got trees all over. Yes, it's dangerous. You got projectiles that could fall on your house. Okay, that I can understand. However, the trees are far enough away where they are blocking more than anything else the wind from hitting the house. And then you got the house itself, which is a certain amount of protection. So I'm, never say never, but I'm fairly confident that, and also, in addition to that, if that doesn't sell it, yeah, Lennar, I'll tell you about Lennar. If that doesn't sell it, my little stick built decision, I'll tell you this: there have been studies that when built properly with the straps and all that stuff, a stick built home is as defensible in a hurricane as or as rather a concrete block house is as susceptible as a stick built. Because frankly, the roof is the same on both of them, and the roof is the weak link. Once that goes, I don't care what your house is made out of, unless your actual roof is made out of concrete. Say bye bye when the roof goes. It's funny because during Andrew, talk about Lennar. During Andrew, Lennar had a mess, and they thank God we never did any business with them. They cut corners, and they had a lot of buildings, and they cut corners right and left. At least that's what the media said. Who knows whether it was true or not? I will say this about Andrew, and I mentioned this before. Um, yeah, the house is in Country Walk in '92, and I will say this: Naranja, where Andrew's eye passed. I was a foreman on a project called Naranja Lakes, 7 acres, townhouses. My father was the GC on it. And I was the foreman back at that time. This was probably late '80s, mid '80s. When you see pictures, in fact, you can even see them in the. I still got the Hurricane Andrew tape, the VHS. When you see pictures of the devastation that Andrew caused in, and most of those pictures are from Naranja because Lennar and other builders, what they would do is they'd build concrete block houses, bottom floor, and then the top floor would be stick built. And then some others would be all stick built. Now, here's the problem. This is what upset me so much. So much so that I'm not going to solder for a few seconds while I tell the story. If a project manager, contractor, whatever, if the builder does their job the right way, they used to use staples. Okay, they used to use staples. Now these are galvanized, corrugated staples. They've got the little indentations and stuff, barbed and all that. Heavy duty staples, and they used to staple the wood, the sheathing for the roof onto the trusses. If they did their job correctly, then there wouldn't have been such an uproar and such a change in the 2001. Well, that was they first started in the '90s, but the big changes came in 2001. In the building code, the Florida building code changed considerably due to the aftermath of Andrew, and it was unfortunately more political than anything else. Everybody was crying out for changes. The insurance company, it's all money based, economic based, and I understand that. What was stupid was, I mean, I like the code. I like the fact that they changed the code. Don't get me wrong. Um, Galvanized nails a certain distance apart are yes, they are far superior to staples, but it was not the staples that gave way on those homes. It was not the staples. The staples didn't pull out. The staples didn't not hold. Okay. What had happened was those builders, and you saw them, and I personally went over because when I was checking out the properties that we just finished building, because we were still responsible for them. By the way, our properties intact. That's what I was saying about the video. It was basically you see one set of buildings untouched by the storm while there was devastation all around. And the older buildings stayed as well. It was the new builders that were the other new builders that were building with. Here's what they did. Staple gun, sheathing, bam, 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 bam. They just nailed it everywhere. If they hit a truss, there's a 50-50 chance. It was just ridiculous. Because when you would see them, now there are one code that I like and hate. I hate it because when I was in the industry, it was the most annoying thing. If you see a single penetrated nail penetrating from the roof during the in the roofing inspection, if there's a single nail that's shown, and I'm not talking about the tin cap nails, I'm talking about the before the tin cap, before the 30 weight felt. If you have them anywhere, one nail, the inspector will fail you. And occasionally you miss one. That's understandable. Man, I would look at those sheathings that came apart, and it wasn't a row of staples. It was staples everywhere, everywhere. I mean, what the heck? I mean, so that was why that failed. It was just bad workmanship. And I do appreciate the more stringent, some of the more stringent codes. Some of the codes are just ridiculous. And yeah, and Clyde, like you said, tornado that'll knock down any house. I mean, when you got winds of, winds of 150 mile an hour for a sustained amount of time, yeah, they'll blow a roof off for a certain amount of time. Usually, a hurricane here, if well, I've been through 13 eyes in this house. In this house, I have been through 13 eyes. Two or three of them I've stepped outside. Oh yeah, that's stupid. Don't do that. I know how to read a radar. Um, and and I'll tell you, it's a very short blast of air. It's like 10 minutes, maybe 20 minutes. And while the hurricane is passing, there's a good, there's a white knuckle, scary 5 or 10 minutes. And then when the next band comes through, there's another, little white knuckler. And as they ease off, they ease off. But, you got the wind whistling through the shutters, and every now and then you'll hear a bang. In the end, the worst of the storms. Once I had some shingles ripped from a roof that was 18 years old, and short of that, you know, fence damage and car damage occasionally from tiles hitting cars and things like that, but no house damage. Well, a hurricane is no big deal, but a tornado, 300-mile-an-hour winds is a lot different than 120-mile-an-hour winds and 150-mile-an-hour winds. So I will give you that. And that's where the danger comes in. People think, oh, a hurricane's going to destroy it. No, hurricane's just a big storm. If your house is not built right, you're in trouble. But most houses around here, especially now, are built very well. But it's those little tornadoes that those hurricanes spawn that do some major damage. Major damage. Yeah, I remember we had I don't know, it was Wilma. When Wilma came through, oh my god, that was so funny. It wasn't funny, it was sad, but there was a Pep Boys about 2 miles from here, and it was again, I don't want to say funny, but it was funny. You got a Pep Boys, you got a church next to the Pep Boys. You have, I believe it was an Eagle Army Navy, and there was a Domino's Pizza. Okay, so now you basically had the tornado went, struck the Domino's Pizza, destroyed it, struck the Eagle Army Navy, destroyed it. I think later they became a Jet Army Navy. Well, regardless, skirted completely around the Pep Boys, not even a flashing off the side of the roof, and then utterly destroyed the church. It was, like I said, it was funny in a way because it was like it's like God took a monstrous drill bit and just went, "Eh," because only parts of the places were destroyed, but it was literally like a huge drill bit cutting the building. That church, 3/4 of it was destroyed. 2 corners of the church were standing all the way up to the roof, but the whole middle section was just like if somebody took a claw and just ripped. It was, you know, it's damnedest thing. But like I said, up there, I hope to have a bit of protection from all the. We've got a lot of trees in the neighborhood, a lot of trees. Yeah, I expect the power will go out quite a bit because all of them are overhead lines. Down here, oh, I gotta say, there's very few things I'll miss about Miami, but the power is going to be one of them. The My lines are underground, and I am 3 miles from the nearest substation. So uh, during Hurricane, what was a big one? Was it Irene? The most recent one that was here, I think it was Irene. Um, Wilma, Irene, it makes no difference. There was one storm. It was disastrous for a lot of people. I was out of power for 3 hours during the heart of the storm, and that's it. All the other storms, power the whole time. Never lost power. So, like I said, that's one of the things I will miss about because, I mean, up there, you know, a car hits a pole and you lose power for 6 hours. I mean, uh, yeah, it is what it is. Let's see, so that one's that one. Okay, red. So now I am doing the next one. I am soldering away the connectors for the next panel. I have cut a number of um, I've cut a number of Javi boxes, and I'll probably be assembling them probably tomorrow. I think tomorrow I'm going to start. It's just simple matter. Glue them and staple them with the pin nailer, and I'm done. The shell of the box is what I'm saying. And yeah, Clyde. Well, yeah, I definitely have I'm definitely going to get a whole house generator when I build the house. At the moment, I have if you've seen my YouTube videos, for the first year that I was visiting, I was spending somewhere in the neighborhood of $300 or $400 a visit because we're talking 15 gallons of gas daily. I had, and by the way, I will yeah, Florida Flicker and Light. Not here. Florida Flicker and Light, Florida Power and Light has been fantastic to me here. At home, where I grew up in Westchester a little while ago, it was pretty funny. But up in Central Florida, they got Duke Energy and they got Seco, and well, I can't say anything because I haven't experienced any of them yet, and they've been very good so far. So far, we'll see what happens. I guess all power companies are along the same lines, I suppose. But getting back to the power situation, yeah, had a I have a generator, and I'm a big advocate of the Harbor Freight uh, generator. Let's see, make sure that's the right one. Yes, the Harbor Freight generator is just absolutely fantastic. The I got the 2,000 watt, the silent one, and that one, my friends, I do not mind telling you, I've got over 3,000 hours on. I think it was 3,000 hours. Let me make sure it's. I go for about 10 days a month. It was about a year and a half, 10 days a month. So that's about 100, and I'd say a total of about 150 days multiplied by 24 hours. So we're looking at 7,500 or 750. I can't think right now, but suffice to say, I am crazy about that generator. It is so nice. I didn't bother my neighbors, with the noise or anything like that. Um, and I was able to power pretty much anything I needed for a while until I actually got power out there. So it was real nice. Sometimes you just got to restrip a wire and retin because that's just crazy. You want a good joint on the wire. There we go. There's that solid little thing. When it drops into the cup and it's solid, that's a good feeling. Thanks, Clyde. Yeah, luckily this part of it, I don't need to remember the shrink because um I put it on after from the wire side. So that's a beautiful thing. But I appreciate the reminder because that gets to be when I put those motors together. Hey, Big D, how's it going? When I put those motors together, the when I wire the motors, go through all that trouble and then forget the heat shrink, or worse, the connectors for the motors. Because sometimes, no, usually I do the connector first, but um, if I do the motor first and then the connector after, and I don't put that, I've got to unsolder 4 aviator connector cup connectors, and that's quite annoying because each one of these is quite annoying to solder. But but I'll tell you, it's worse when it's the actual connector because you figure you got 4 individual wires. You can't just put a big heat shrink on all 4. You got to put 4 individual. But first, you have to put the big heat shrink because you put the 4 little heat shrinks and then you are missing the big one. I mean, it'll be fine, but yeah, there's always the alternative. Electrical tape. Sorry, not my cup of tea. Not my cup of tea. I'm not big. I'm big on electrical tape, but not when it comes to these kind of projects. Yeah, I'm in the same boat, Dave. It was pouring over here. When I started the show, it just finished a major lightning. All gone now. It's a beautiful thing. Okay, so let's get the blues. I got the blues. Ain't got no money. I'm just sitting here wasting time. Ain't got no money, honey. Sitting here all alone. Forgot to get me some money because I forgot my automated teller code. Yeah, tell you, some of these are a joy to solder. Some of these are a pain to solder. I like the joyous ones. Thank God there's more joyous ones than pain in the neck ones. Let's see, 3.5 inches of rain. That's a lot of rain. Let's see what we got here. So how many inches of rain in Miami today? Okay, I don't need the annual. The annual is 62 inches of rain. Okay, how exciting. What was today? Oh, here we go. In the last 24 hours, half an inch. That's not much. That's nothing. No wonder I got to paint my. No wonder I got to paint my patio today. I got some break in the weather, as it were. Yesterday, I couldn't do anything outside. And well, I could do something. I was pressure cleaning in the rain. It was beautiful. I enjoyed myself quite a bit. I figure if I'm going to get wet anyway from the pressure cleaner, no use wasting time, right? How long to get drivers from China? That depends on the day, Clyde. The drivers I ordered. Uh, I ordered some drivers uh, directly from China, and they took it's it was two. It's been 2 months. They never got here, and 2 days ago I canceled the order. I've been ordering them from multiple locations. Uh, I've been ordering some others from China, and they take um, about 3-4 weeks. Uh, I've I've given up, and now I order them like 10 or 20 at a time, and I order them from Amazon and such. Basically, uh, Stepper Online has got them available um, every now and then. So, like I said, it depends on the day. There are some days there was a week where I couldn't get any drivers, and then there was another week where I was getting 4 to 10 a day. So, in answer to your question, it's a crapshoot. Okay, so that would be black and then yellow. And by the way, if anybody has any questions regarding, drivers or anything like that, ask them here because I have a new policy and I'm implementing it for the benefit of my customers. I do not any longer answer questions regarding wiring or stepper drivers or anything of that sort on my website. I will be I will have a blanket email responding as much because I got to be honest with you. There's people out there. I mean, I get it. Some people weren't in time to get my box. Some people chose not to and do it themselves. I completely get it, but there are people paying me to complete this, and I'm spending an hour a day answering the same question over and over and over, and where to wire this, where to wire that, and frankly, I'll be happy to do it here on the show, but I'm not going to spend I'm not going to spend a second answering. In fact, some of them I've deleted already. I don't want to be rude, but you know, I will stop and drop everything for one of my customers. I'll call them up and help them walk through the thing because that's the deal. It certainly is in my eyes, um, but when this entire community, and I don't mean to sound ungrateful, I love the community, but when the entire community is asking me the same question over and over and over, and it's not that they're asking me the question, I don't mind answering the question. It's that where they're asking me the question. They go to my store and they go to the contact form and then they ask me the question through there. And I'm not going to tell them how to build this thing step by step. You want to do that? You buy a box. If not, I'll be happy to answer the occasional question. But there's a reason that I'm doing this, and that I chose not to just become, Mr. Teach It, and have a series of YouTube videos on how to build this thing. Because, well, I know what happens when you have a series of videos. You think this takes time. Try answering questions when people are given more information. Now there's more questions. Jim, when is the last time you've been to Miami? If ever. I'll give you a good place to eat in Miami, that's for certain. There's a great place right by my house. Anytime I have visitors coming from out of town, and they I'm more than happy to visit. I mean, to I don't want to say open my doors, but meet them at a, because I don't know a lot of people, but meet them at a location. Yeah, absolutely, for dinner. And there's a couple places by here that are just fantastic. I mean, great ambiance and everything. I mean, it's a beautiful thing. How do I start the soldering iron? Well, it's got a you got to put it in gear, Mervin, and then I've got a pedal under here. I just got to go, and once it starts, it's very quiet. And that's how to start a soldering iron. Hmm. Yep, La Carreta is a very good place. It's 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 the cart is the direct translation. It's it's like a it's a cart. It's a old fashioned wagon, hay wagon, that you tow with a burro or an ox or something. And don't know why they named it after that, but that's the um, this little one little thing is so annoying. Um, but that is the symbol of it, and it's a Cuban restaurant, and it's has good food. Finally, okay, 5 good solders. Next, just got okay. So let me see here. Yep. So La Carreta is a good place. There's a lot of local restaurants down here that like Las Islas Canarias, which is Spanish for Canary Islands. There's a few of them out here. There's a place called El Rinconcito, which means the corner, but there's a lot of them. You got to get the right one. Um, all throughout Miami and throughout this whole area. Um, so yeah, a lot of good places to eat. Got a package from Penn State. Figured out how to watch Javi and work in the shop at the same time. Yep, life is good indeed. A package from Penn State. Hmm. Package from State Penn. Mervin, he's a character. I don't know what kind of package allows you to watch me, but that's a good thing. So I don't know if I told you guys, but I bought a for the property. For those of you that watch Make Room for Javi, and I apologize for not having any new episodes out. I got tons of footage, and I continue filming, but I just haven't had a spare moment to dedicate to editing. And And I'll tell you, I got a trencher, which is a really cool. It's called a trencher. It's from Harbor Freight. For those of you that have, I think I mentioned on the show last time, but it's not actually a trencher. It's a backhoe. So, for those of you that are confused with the name trencher, it's not a trencher. It's a backhoe, and it's delayed as everything with Harbor Freight when it's 1,200 pounds is. So, it won't be arriving for quite a while. But that'll give me time. I'm kind of happy that it got delayed a little bit because I wasn't sure how I was gonna get it over there. My trailer's up there and it's full. So let's just say that would have been problematic. Now it'll give me a month to empty the trailer out, bring it in. Never drop the soap. Rule number 1. And if you do, you better be wearing something like Leslie Nielsen did on was that one of the Naked Gun movies? Trying to remember. And it was Tex Avery, Tex Cobb. What was that actor's name? That's always played a mean football player. I mean, he might have been a football player. I don't even remember anymore. I'm sure it was Tex something. He was the guy. In case you're wondering who he was, for those of you that have seen Raising Arizona, he was the biker on Raising Arizona. By the way, if you haven't seen Raising Arizona, watch it. Funny movie. Funny movie. It's just I haven't seen it in a while. I'm gonna watch it. That's a great movie. Watch what I'm doing, Javi. Wrong terminal. That was a very funny movie. Getting a little stuffed up. Every time I get a little stuffed up, it's and when I was younger, it was either the sign of a cold or I didn't know what it was. Now I know. It's allergies. Never had allergies. Now I do. What the hey? And I would like to thank the 15 folks that are watching now, and I very much appreciate the views and the conversation. If anybody wants to pop in and join me, by all means, send me a message. I'll send you a link. And let's see here. What do we got? Yellow. Yellow's going to be easy on this, and that black is going to be difficult. I got to tell you, sometimes, let's see, really Zoom? I mean, that Zoom. What's your name, Zoom? I hate saying Zoom. It's, I'm with Dave on this one. I'm most of the time I'm not a fan of non-name monikers on the in the airwaves. Um, but yeah, if I got to look into the trencher because everybody said it's fantastic. It's powerful. I don't want to do anything that'll just completely screw it up. But I wouldn't mind a little more power. Ah, hate it when that happens. Eh, it's easier to strip and retin. Every now and then I press a wire too hard and it opens up, it flares out, and you got to have it all nice and tightly twisted if you're gonna work with wires on these little cup connectors, because otherwise it's just not gonna work. There it is, perfectly tinned. Lurkers didn't understand the reference. Okay. Some days when I'm here soldering, I feel oddly enough like a hairdresser. And the reason I say that is I'm going to one pin and I got to brush off all the wires to one side. I feel like I'm parting hair, so I can get my soldering iron in the right place. And then I'm on the next pin and I'm moving some other, wires and stuff. So it's kind of funny. Now I'm moving them to this side so they stay away from this wire. I'd probably make a lousy hairdresser. I don't know any hairdressers that work with a soldering iron in their hand. Alrighty. Well, let's see. What time is it here? 9:06. Still early. Anybody want me to tell them a story about anything? Give me a topic, and I'll be happy to share. I have no problem. I have no issues sharing. Because frankly, there's not much to my life other than old stories. Bamboo stumps. That's a good topic. I plan to clear out a lot of bamboo with that. Well, I'm going to try it. I don't know if it'll work. I'll let you guys know. But I am going to try to clear out the bamboo itself with the trencher when I get it. I'll be cutting a lot of it next trip up. But, well, in fact, I might be doing a move the next trip up. Um, I got to make some space in the container, so a lot of the stuff I have is probably moving to. I'll figure out a place. And I am thinking of using the trencher, the backhoe for the stumps for the bamboo. Trouble is, um, I've done stuff like that before, and it doesn't come out. It tears and it rips. It's kind of like all you're doing is grabbing a rope and fraying it. You know, it's really strange that way. Let's see, X and Z, X here and Z, and so I don't know what's going to happen when I use the thing. Now, what I could do and what I plan to do, if it works, oh, that'd be beautiful. Because by the way, if anybody wants bamboo, let me know. Come on over and pick it up, and you're welcome to as much as you can carry. Because pretty soon, like in 2 weeks, I'm tearing it all off and it's going in the burn pile. Because I'm tired. I'm tired of messing with it. Tired of doing stuff with it. It's I've always been a person. Everything's about return on investment of my time, and my time is extremely valuable to me to choose to do what I want with it. And some people say, "Oh, if your time's so valuable, why are you doing this or why are you doing that?" Because that's what I want to do. Why are you wasting time cutting a forest, or rather trimming some trees, when you can have somebody do it far cheaper? Because I enjoy it. So, but when it comes to things I don't enjoy, I'm lucky enough to have the luxury of being able to say, go to hell, or go to HE double toothpicks, as it were. But anyway, the yeah, very much like a palm tree. Those things just they shred. I was trying to knock them over with the mower, and I had one. And instead of like ripping, if it was a small sapling and you pull it, oh, that's another thing I did. I actually grabbed a bunch of them with a strap from the truck to try to rip it out of the ground. The strap basically grabbed two or three of them, and I tightened it as tight as could be. And what happened was the strap just broke the leaves, and then it just pulled the strap out, shredded it um uh can't think of an analogy for that one, but it's just shredded. It basically took the stump, and you didn't get to pull the thing out. It just literally, you know, if you've ever seen how they make bamboo and how they cut them and how they, and the machines that they use to push them through the thing, they're basically nothing more than a bunch of very, very straight fibers. So anywhere you grab along the tree, there's nothing sideways on it. Like a tree has, for those of you dendrologists out there, a tree not only has fibers going vertical, but there are also tons of fibers horizontal from the inside out. And obviously, nowhere near as many. As everybody thinks it's all, it's just the roots up to the leaves. No, there are a bunch coming from distributing the nutrients through the side of the tree and out the side into the whatever. Anyway, so that structure makes a tree much that and other things. Obviously, a bamboo is not a tree, but I'm wondering whether it will tear or whether it will rip out. If it rips out, I'm lucky. I toss them all in one big fire, and I'm done. In less than a week, I've got the whole 3/4 of an acre cleared. If it rips, if it tears or shreds like I expect it to, then what I'll end up doing is I'm probably going to rig my little my chainsaw. I'm going to attach it somehow to the end of the bucket, and to the end of the to the end of the bucket, and I'm just gonna use the bucket to slice and slice and slice and see how that goes. If it goes well, great. If not, doesn't matter, because that's not the reason I bought the trench. I got it to get rid of the stumps. How is that? I hadn't seen that question before. How is the Harbor Freight Gator generator 900 watt? I AC just kicked on. I I have no answer to that. Absolutely not. I am not familiar, other than I've seen it in the catalog. I am unfamiliar completely with the Gator. I like the silent generators. The Predators that I got are just uh, they're fantastic. Mine is I would say, like everything else I own, fully depreciated. I get my use out of anything I buy. Boy, do I get my use out of it. There we go. We got ourselves another satisfied bundle of wires. Now that was, let's do 28. There we go. I'll start on the next one. And the next, actually, let me start on this one because that one is missing the connector should be in tomorrow, the 5-pin. What will I do about Stump Island? Well, Poppy, Mervin, I have completely eliminated Stump Island. It is gone. The only thing left are some stumps. But the actual Stump Island has been obliterated. Oh, it's 9. Yeah, it's 9:17. So yeah, as far as Stump Island is concerned, it used to be a triangle filled with stumps. For those of you that watched my videos, and the one of the neighbors, that right now I've got a really well, I've got great neighbors before and after, and what I say before is when I first moved in, there was one neighbor, Chuck, nice guy. He owns or owned American Auto Salvage up there, and he owns a bunch of locations of them, and he dumped 28 trees. He cut them all down. He didn't want a single tree on his property. He didn't want leaves or anything. He completely cut them down, and he had permission from the prior owner, the person I bought the property from, to dump them on his property. And so that became Stump Island. I mean, it was logs and logs and logs of stuff that it's. I had a few huge fires and got rid of it all. A lot of it was rotted because it had been there for 5-6 years. But nothing left now but 2 or 3 stumps from the old rotted trees that were there, and in Stump Island. Then there's some other stumps that I got rid of. Again, rotted trees. And but I'll tell you, that was a lot of work. It was a lot of fun, and it's gone. No more Stump Island. It's a whole clearing now, and I've got 26 stumps that I have to clear out. So I'm gonna just, one by one, I'm gonna attack them with my machine, and we'll see how it goes. I left the stumps about 4 foot high, each of them. And I think that's a good thing, because now when I come with the excavator and completely clear all around and rip all the stumps and everything, then I could probably pull it out with the machine, with the trencher. So probably, never say never. Don't know for certain, but I'm certainly going to try. These all look good. And so I'll probably do this for another 5-10 minutes or so, and 10 minutes or so, and then head off to bed. I got to deal with my real business in the morning. I gotta I gotta go visit the guy that gives me. I have a couple commercial contracts, and well, you know how it is. Any of you that have ever been in this type of business, and well, it's painting contracting, but construction. You know how it is. It's you have to, not have to, but you have a good relationship with the project manager, with the person who issues the jobs. I have a contract with a school, uh, and with a local college, and I basically we paint all their rooms. And here's the thing. Um, Now during this time, some businesses go down, some businesses go up. Have another company that we paint their offices. They're closed, so lose business there. I got to move my guys over to the uh, the school, which pays far less, but they don't have any students. So now we're getting far more work. It's crazy. These are certainly some interesting times we live in. I can't deny that. Good, good, good. Man, so the dog wanted out. That's that, I know that feeling. My dog is so prissy. It's raining. The dog wants out. I let her out, and she takes one step on the water and she runs right back in. Okay. Yep. Have a good evening, Mervin. I will catch you on the next one. Thank you all for coming. I am just about to shut her down. So, again, thank you all for following along with Soldering with Javi, joining the club, joining the conversation. I'll try to see if I can get Russ and Dave in next on Wednesday. See how things go. So, or others. So, you guys all have a wonderful evening, and stay safe and all that stuff that they say. And good night. See you guys Wednesday for those of you that want to join. Bye bye.